Well, the chef seems to be having some trouble here.
Welcome back to Cooking Under Fire. Today we are making my famous blackened salmon, which requires getting your pan incredibly hot.
As you can see, we are having a slight technical difficulty with today's cooking segment. Do not try this at home, folks. We'll be right back after the break.
Whoa, you don't want that happening to your show. So be prepared. Don't blow your show, okay? Be ready. Know your menus. Know what's going to fit on that table. Know the size of the table. What time you're going to be able to get there in order to set up. But know some history of your food. Know what you're talking about. Be funny. Look at the camera. Be interactive with the host. But I learned a lot, and I want to share that with you. So if you have one coming up, or you may get one, I want to show you how to prepare yourself for it. So with that, let's go, working chefs. Let's go.
All right, so I think this was my first morning show, or definitely my second one. As you can see, the table is really small. We use black linen to kind of have the colors of the food and the plates pop out. And like I told you before, see that banner right next to me? You can't see the whole thing. It's better that we didn't even have that there because the television station, it puts all your information up there and your logo in between the breaks. That little prop right there, the buck signage and the rooster, I made that. I got those pieces from Hobby Lobby, and I used a screw gun. Got some yellow paint there as well, painted it all yellow because that's our color. And that's how we did that. All that food that you see there, we brought it in that morning. And you get there around 6 in the morning, mind you. So all those things, we had them made the day before in the evening because I wanted them as fresh as possible. Put them in little deli containers, okay, and then just brought all the dishes I need and then assembled it. There was really nothing there that was hot, but it was all edible. So I mean, you can bring some stuff and cook on the morning show if you like, and I did do that in one of the other videos, as you'll see. But you assemble it all on the table, and if somebody else isn't already doing a morning show using that table, you get to set it up as soon as you get there. Like I said before, I got there early one time, one of my other shows, and I thought that I would have the table and have plenty of time to decorate it and do some other stuff with it. But it didn't seem to work out because somebody else was using it. So I filled up, like I said, all the food, made it clean, nice, and it worked out great. So that was that show. And like I said, there's a good shot of the full banner. I like that. But that's not always the case. And I should have buttoned up my chef coat all the way. And maybe I should have wore that hat. So think about those things when you're on these morning shows. So there's things I could have done different. I did a lot of those little carvings you see of the vegetables on the table. So here's the other show that I did, and like I said, I was a little more lively, a little more interactive here, and I should have buttoned up again my chef coat all the way. I didn't wear my hat because I saw it didn't look so good. I think I wore it on the other one though. But I think I decorated the table a little bit better this time. I didn't have my Buck logo because I remember that they said that it was too big and kind of got in the way of the host, the one that was interacting with us. So they didn't want me to use it. So that's fine. But I think that I should have had a little bit more history in the food. And don't forget, guys, you only have like 3 minutes. So you kind of want to focus on maybe two or three of the dishes that you really want to talk about and highlight and just kind of know a little back history on it. And that way it just is more appealing to the audience. So look, they do those close-up shots. That's good. We put fresh flowers on the table. I went and got those fresh flowers. I got those little boxes. I did some fresh produce on there and just try to make it really colorful. We had a buck, a linen cloth this time. As you can see, it says buck in the front, but the little signage from the television station kind of blocks that. But we didn't take the other big sign on the side, and it worked out a lot better and had a little flyer on there. But everything is clean, laid out clean. Those chickens were cold because we roasted those the day before, and we just wanted a perfect roasting color on there. So they're cooked all the way, but just barely. And so like we try to get some of the main dishes on there, but not too much. And like I said, smile. I should have looked at the camera more, which you can do. Okay, so this one, I buttoned up my chef coat, but I wore that hat. Like I said, I don't know which in sequence this was my third one. I think this is the last one I did with Buck Buck. I believe so because I remember the cooking demonstration I had to do here. So that was good, and they wanted me to cook something live on TV, but it wasn't a good close up shot. As she tells me to lower it because I didn't. The camera tried to hone in on my hands, but I was still holding my hands a little too high. I can see the Buck Buck prop that I used this time. I deconstructed it and it made it short and small so you can see it on the table, and it wasn't so tall this time. But I think we should have elevated the plates a little bit and turned them more instead of having them flat. I should have had them to where they tilted up more toward the camera, and I could have used something underneath them to make them do that. At that shot, you can see them pretty good, but the other shots, no. But, again, I have some produce on the table. I have some flyers on there. And I was happy with the tables. The more you do it, the more you get better at it with the ideas. So, like I said, I should have talked at the camera a little bit more. I'm still learning, guys. Even with these videos, you can tell I'm not perfect, but I'm doing it. I'm forcing myself to get better, and just as you will too. So, and these television morning shows, they're pretty much done by marketing. So if the company you're working with has a marketer, they approach these television stations, your local stations, wherever your restaurant is, whatever part of the country it is, and it's paid for. So you pay to get on those morning shows, unless they're doing, the local station is doing some kind of highlighting restaurants in your area. Then they come to you. But this way, it's all you. It's all about your restaurant, and you had a full 3 minutes. You're in the studio, and see all these shots they do. So they do. It's all you. Like I said, I don't want to backtrack. Miss that point. But the show, the morning show, is all about you when it's paid for like that. It's 3 minutes highlighting you. So it's a good thing. So yeah, so see, they show always. They'll show your menu, location, stuff like that. Just be ready, interact, have fun. That's the best thing I can tell you. Pick out some good plates, but don't have the plates outshine the food. Make sure the food is prepped the day before, and if there's something that you have to do the morning of, whether it's a salad, do the salad, but don't put the dressing on it because it'll make it soggy. And any kind of sauces, do it like minutes before, because sometimes those will look dry and won't look as glossy or nice. So, try to do things to where they look as fresh as possible. So this was the last one I did for biscuits and bourbon, and I think this one was okay. We didn't have a lot of stuff at the table. You can see right in front of me here, there wasn't a whole bunch that of props that we used. There wasn't a whole bunch of props that we had at our disposal. So I had a lot of real estate that wasn't being unused on the table. Still came out good, and I probably could have engaged a little bit more, but like I said, that's something that you can work on. And in the beginning here, I kind of forgot what I was going to say, but a good tip for you guys: maybe have some little cue cards behind each one of those dishes, like like I should have put in front of that behind the burger so the camera wouldn't see of what the burger was called, what the name of it was, and maybe something a little quick description of it, so I could look down and just see it. Oh, because that menu right there for street burgers was very new to me, and I wasn't familiar with it yet. So this was kind of done on the fly, but we still pulled it off. So yeah, look at, we got a red tablecloth. There's other signage we could have used, but like I said, you guys think about what you guys want to do, how that table is going to look. You can see, I think that's a 5-foot table. I'm pretty sure it's a 5 foot by 2.5 feet. So kind of practice on that. And see those pictures right there that they're showing you? Those are pictures we took. So could they have been better? Yes. But like I said, this was a really last minute thing we put together. You guys plan it out and be prepared for when you're going to do it, so you have the best pictures on there to use, because anything that you give the news station and you tell them to use, they're going to use it, and it's broadcasted everywhere, so everybody's going to see that. So know that. So like I said, try to look your best, try to be rehearsed, know some history about the business and the company, the restaurant you're working for, and especially the food, and make sure that food looks fresh and it looks inviting, and it's tilted the right way, and you know what each dish is. But like I said, focus probably on 2 to 3 dishes, because you only have 3 minutes in these segments. So I hope you do well for your next show, and you're very much prepared. Try to get some props, some flowers, some fresh flowers always look nice. And you can always create your own thing, like I did with that buck sign.
News3lv.com. For now, we're going to toss it over to Chloe.
All right, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you staying until the end of the video. I hope that you got great value from it. It's a good takeaway, and I gave you some good tips that you can use on your next morning show or your first morning show. So I tried to make sure I didn't leave out anything. Also, if you're thinking about moving down to Las Vegas and you're curious to know what each position pays, if you look in the bio, you'll see that I have a free download that will give you all that information plus a little bit more. So thank you once again, all you young chefs, inspiring chefs. I'm looking forward to making another video that will enlighten you and inspire you. God bless everybody. Take care, my young chefs. Take care.